Hey, what's going on, everybody? I am Adam. We are live. It's been a minute. I haven't done a video in a while. I was admittedly, not burnt out, but like I just didn't have the motivation. I didn't have the time. However, I've just gotten back from San Diego Comic-Con. I am refueled and kind of remotivated. There's so much cool stuff coming out. There's so much exciting toy news, some that can be shared, some that is just discussed behind discussed openly on San Diego Comic-Con floors. But yeah, lots of exciting stuff going on in toys, both in stuff that I'm involved in and stuff that I'm just a fan of. So I'm happy to be back, and I think I'm planning to do a video, my regular highly articulated video on Sunday. We're going to talk about San Diego Comic-Con in more detail. We got an episode of Monkey Business that's going to be the following Sunday, so August the 10th. So starting to kind of get back in the groove a little bit, get back in the sort of I don't know, what am I talking about? Anyways, tonight, one night only, as was the case with the Cold Slither concert in San Diego, I am going to be opening the San Diego Comic-Con exclusive G.I. Joe Classified Dreadnoks Cold Slither box set. I don't know what you want to call it. There's a whole lot of sort of things that you could call it, or ways to explain it, or what have you. But I'm very, very excited to get this thing opened. I did take it out of the brown box. It did come in one of those, ship in own container brown boxes. That's how they sold it at the convention. So you actually, got a brown box unlabeled. You didn't even know it was in there if you didn't open the box. But thankfully, thankfully my Cold Slither set was in fact in the box. The packaging is phenomenal. I'm not going to take too long on the packaging because, to be quite honest, I could probably spend an hour on this packaging. It is pretty incredible. I've been kind of looking at this packaging in anticipation of opening, the packaging up and getting the figures out. And there's a lot of really cool, little, details, but in some cases, Easter eggs, I guess, in some respect. In hindsight, some of these things were there, and we didn't think of it, but I'll touch on that point a little bit later. So yeah, let's take a look at this. But before I do, I just wanted to say hello to the folks in the chat. Sam Rock is here, Loco Basewalker, Jeffrey, Nolan, Jeff Morris, and Scott. Scott, good to have you, buddy. I picked something up for Scott at San Diego Comic-Con. A couple years back, Scott was gracious enough and generous enough to take time out of his San Diego Comic-Con experience to pick something up for me. So I felt that it was appropriate to return the favor. So Scott, I need your address. I got to get this thing mailed off to you sooner rather than later. It's been a hectic week since I've been back, but anyways, let's take a look at the box, shall we? So starting off, I will say that there is, like, the figures are in a box. This box folds out. There's a slip cover over the box to sort of keep it shut, and all of these things are sort of like taped on. So as I said, I don't want to take too long on this because, quite frankly, it could take forever to just talk about packaging. But anyway, you get, your G.I. Joe Classified logo on here. You get the Dreadnought motorcycles down at the bottom. You get a Gem and the Holograms one night only poster right there, which I'll come back to in a moment. And you get a Misfits poster there as well that's, all torn up. Springfield Theater, like it just, I mean, the whole package looks perfect. It looks like a dirty, kind of scummy concert hall. There's graffiti all over the place, stuff like that. Extensive Enterprises presents Cold Slither Band of Vipers World Tour. And of course, it's done wrong. Like, some of the letters are red, some of the letters are black. I'm surprised one of them isn't like missing or hanging off or something like that. But regardless. On the bottom, nothing interesting, nothing exciting. There's some legalese on there, but that's about it. I would show you the sides, but the box is too big. Here, let me see. There we go. Band of Vipers World Tour. If you can't see it, that's because it's so close to my camera that it can't even focus on it. But I will say that this is all the same as the tour T-shirts that they made. One of which I'm currently wearing. If you want to see the T-shirt, follow my Instagram. I will post my San Diego Comic-Con haul at some point. I just realized that I probably should have done that before I opened this thing. But anyway, the world tour includes Enterprise City, Cobra Island, Broca Beach, the Himalayas, Springfield, and San Diego. And they even got the date right for San Diego, 7/25. That was the night of the Cold Slither live concert at a really, really awesome metal bar called Brick by Brick, which was like full-on metal bar. There's the back of the building, you get the fire escapes, you get more graffiti and stuff like that. You'll be joining us soon. And then you get some posters here live at Springfield, because this is, of course, the Springfield, set. It could have been San Diego. I mean, this could have been San Diego, and this could have been a San Diego set, but I think Springfield sort of makes more sense, especially if you weren't at San Diego and you buy this on Pulse, if you're lucky enough to be able to get it on Pulse. And then on the other side, I will just point this out. There is an Average Joe's poster as well, with very different dates, but the sort of glass on the poster is smashed. You get accessories for the different dreadnoughts on here. This is, in fact, a numbered set. This is number 163. I don't know if I've seen anybody mention that. I don't know how excited people are going to be that this is a numbered piece of the classified collection. Yee. And I wanted to point out that on the top, you actually get like air conditioning details and stuff like that. So I think that's meant to be a water tower. So, apart from the bottom, there's details on every side of this thing. Now, let me cut the slip cover off. And by cut, I mean cut the tape. I'm not going to cut it. I'm keeping this packaging as pristine as I possibly can because it's so awesome. It is so elaborate. It makes me think of a couple of years back, there was a Black Series set with an Ewok and a speeder bike. I think it was, I can't remember what else was in the set, but I remember that packaging being like really crazy elaborate. And then when you take that slipcover off, of course, you get Zarana as like the ticket taker, more graffiti, broken windows, more posters. Now hiring at the Red Rocket, another kind of deep cut there. The Viper is coming. Mars Industry, logos and things like that. There's a GI Joe decal there, with a Cobra decal over top of it, which is kind of cool, kind of funny. Yeah, just all together, just a really, really cool box. And we have, like I said, I could spend ages on this. I haven't even opened the box. Now, I will mention this poster again because for anybody that doesn't know or wasn't aware or maybe you don't care as well, but the Cold Slither concert ended. They played the whole album, so they've got an actual album. You can go and listen to it on Spotify, and it's actually pretty good, which is shocking, but it is pretty good. So they played the whole album. They played the 12 songs or whatever it is, and then left the stage, and then people were chanting and clapping and cheering and hoping for an encore. And then they had these TV screens that they were kind of showing music videos the whole time. And on the TV screen, there was some like computer coding started showing up, and then a computer graphic type of holographic image of a woman showed up and introduced herself as Synergy. And and it like 30% of the crowd was really excited and started getting, really hyped. and 70% of the crowd, I think, didn't know what synergy was. But anyways, Cold Slither came back on stage and invited their good friend Jem on stage to do an encore with them. And it was, in fact, the like original voice actress for Jem, who is a musician by profession still, like to this day. And so she got on stage and they sang "Jem Is My Name," and then they played Cold Slither again for a second time, which was awesome. Like it was I mean, the whole evening was awesome. And then, to cap it off with sort of Jem performing. I thought the Misfits would have been more on brand for the Dreadnoks, but beggars can't be choosers. It was awesome, and it might have been the highlight of my San Diego Comic-Con was the Cold Slither concert. But for more on the weekend, tune in on Sunday. I'll be talking more about it and sharing more stories. Okay, let's get this opened up. Actually, before I do that, I just want to show you the scale of this box. So that is, the Zartan 6-inch scale figure. So the box itself is, a pretty solid, like 10 inches tall and quite wide. I mean, it's big. This is, a fairly wide shot compared to a lot of things that I do. And it's still not going to allow me to show the whole set. It's only going to allow me to show, Zartan and Buzzer. So I'm going to see if this will work and how well this will work. Let me adjust my camera here very quickly. And can I get it all? I can't even get it all in shot without moving my actual my camera here. I have to move it back in order to get it. But there you go. It's huge. Like, it's massive. I will not be displaying it like this as a result. It's just too big. But there's inserts in there, which I'm not going to go over because it's too much work to get it all out of there and all that kind of stuff. I'll just pull all the figures out and I'll go over the figures and show all the accessories and all that kind of stuff. But they're all named. So you get Ripper, Zartan, Buzzer, and Torch. This is more or less how they performed on stage. Stage right, stage left, Zartan in the center, Buzzer at the back, of course. And this is pretty much how they looked on stage as well. It was awesome. So this is super cool. This is really fun. This almost feels like a souvenir of a concert that I went to, more than it feels like a G.I. Joe classified set. However, I will mention that when Classified started 5 years ago, I said a San Diego Comic-Con Cold Slither box set would be, the perfect kind of Comic-Con exclusive, because we've already got all these Dreadnoks. If you want the characters, you've already got them. There's no issue there. So these are just different decos of characters that you already have that only appeared in one episode. One amazing episode, granted. But one episode nonetheless. So if you don't get these, it's not the end of the world from a collecting standpoint, I guess. But the flip side, if you don't get these, I feel bad for you, because this is awesome. This set is amazing. It's so cool. And part of me wants to just sit here and stare at this and not open it at all. But I don't have anywhere to display it like this, so I'm gonna have to. I'm thinking what I'll probably do is like pull the insert out of the back there and use that as sort of a backdrop on a shelf and sort of tighten them up so that all four of them are nice and tight. But we'll see. Let's get these guys out of the box. Before I do that, though, I am just going to tighten up the camera and yeah, I could probably tighten it up quite a bit because I'll be just showing figures. We'll go about there for now. Okay, let's see. Billionaires here says showing love from Toronto. 300 for Cold Slither secondary. Yikes. That's tough. I feel bad for anybody that can't get it. I hope that I genuinely hope, like, anybody that knows me knows that I think exclusives should be hard to get, but I also think that if people kind of work hard enough and sort of time things right, that they should be able to get them relatively easily. I think this is one that's Hasbro. It should be relatively easy to get. I hope that anybody that wants this is able to pick it up. Because $300 is that's rough. Yeah, Gem was awesome. What's going on, No Chewing? Good to have you, buddy. It was a pleasure to hang out with you for a just a brief moment. It felt like at Comic-Con when we went and saw Fantastic Four, which I think was fantastic. I really enjoyed Fantastic Four. Jeffrey says they have the album for sale online on Rating Phoenix Music. I have the vinyl of it. Very, very excited. I got the Hasbro exclusive vinyl, the gray marbled one. They have the orange marbled one, and then Rating Phoenix also had a red marbled one at their booth, which I didn't get. The Hasbro one was enough for me. So. And Jeffrey says, I think the remaining stock goes up tomorrow on Pulse. For this set, for the Cold Slither set, the remaining stock goes up on Saturday. For a lot of the San Diego Comic-Con stuff, it goes up tomorrow, Friday. But Cold Slither, I believe, if you want it, though, confirm for yourself. But I believe it goes up Saturday, actually. And Scott says, if one had an old McFarlane Metallica or Kiss box set, they could repurpose the stage. I don't have either of those, so I am not I'm not that lucky. Okay, I think I will start in the middle with Zartan. I mean, that's the obvious place to start, and then Buzzer, because he's got the drum set. So you got to get your drum set up. And then I'll get the other guys. Now I'm already seeing that these guitars are going to be soft. I can see that one is bent. Now I can heat that up and it'll be fine. I'm just hoping they're not super soft, that even after I heat it up and fix it, it'll still be floppy. But worse things have happened. It's very much a first world problem, and very much a woe is me, the privileged problem. So I'm certainly not going to be too angry if that's the case. I'm gonna cut the tape on all of the sides of this that I need to, so that I can just lose the knife and open everything. So bear with me if you will. Or don't. Yeah, I mean, you can leave too if you don't want to wait. Okay, let's get this out of the box. I know. Oh, I wonder. No, I don't think it would even pick it up. I was seriously tempted to play Cold Slither while I was unboxing this, but I didn't want to get a copyright strike, and I didn't want the video to get taken down, so I'm not going to do that. Oh yeah, oh my goodness. No, I am going to show the insert because it's awesome, and because then I can actually take this out of frame. I can put this in frame, be the frame. I feel like this might be my background for a lot of videos going forward. Okay. Let's talk about the insert, because it's too good not to talk about. Okay, hold on. Can you see that? Okay, yeah. Okay, so on this side, with an iron fist and a reptile hiss, we shall rule. Of course, that is lyrics from the Cold Slither song. Too late to resist, Cobra is strong. Again, lyrics. You'll be joining us soon. These are all lyrics from the Cold Slither song, like the one song that they play in the episode. And then on the floor, There's a bunch of trash. There's like chocolate bars and soda cans. I assume it's soda cans. And then there is the album. And I'm trying to wonder, or I'm not trying to wonder. I'm wondering if that is the order that no, that's not the order that they played the songs in. I think that might be the order of the album as it is on the album, but I'm not 100% certain. And I can't get it close enough to, really get it to focus very well. But it has Welcome to the Swamp, Cold Slither, Thunder Machine, Snakes on the Bayou, Master of Disguise, The Ballad of Buzzer, Under the Dreadnought Spell, Torched, Zartan's Revenge, and then for their encore, it says Knock'em Dread, These Fluffies Are Fatal, and then Cold Slither again. They did, in fact, play Cold Slither twice. So that is that's accurate based on the concert. I don't know if that's on purpose or not. I don't know. It was fun. All right. There we go. So we get Buzzer again with part of the drum kit. I'm going to pop this all out as quickly as I can without risking damaging it, of course. And I feel like this is like not 100% accurate drum kit, but the fact that they give you like a bass pedal with like a sculpted chain and stuff is pretty freaking cool, in my opinion, for what that's worth. All right. Come on, Buzzer. Oh my goodness. I think his glasses stay on better. That's good news. So this time around, his glasses stay on better. The drumstick didn't stay in his hand very well, and I don't know if it will going forward. This one has an elastic on this hand. This one doesn't, but I might try to find one of those little clear elastics and elastic this one in, because these guys are never going to do anything but be rocking out in the set, with the drums and the whole thing. There's some wash on the vest, which looks pretty cool. So there's sort of like a black wash. Oh, and he's got a Cold Slither logo on the back. This is yeah. No, his glasses don't stay on any better than the other one. He's got a little bit of a different hairstyle. He's got that different mohawk to be more Cold Slithery, I suppose. All right, let's get the rest of this up here. Get more of this drum set out. I'm gonna have to trim some stuff to get it out. Some guitar straps. Oh, one more thing to clip. All right, so I got to put this drum kit together. This is awkward to do. Oh, that's all right. Or maybe it did. Maybe it was in there in two pieces. All right, these inserts are so big I can't necessarily get it in shot. So I am curious if anybody, if any of you guys watching, or anybody that watches a replay, have you listened to the album? What have you thought of the album? What do you think of the album? I'm not a big metal guy as such. Um, I enjoy it. When I listen to it, I got nothing against it. It's just not a style that I particularly listen to. But what I've heard from some pretty like some metal fans are saying that it's surprisingly good as a metal album. So I'm just curious to get different people's opinions on it. But there's Zartan with his like red wig. I would have maybe liked a slightly different expression on the face, personally. It looks fine. It looks totally fine. It looks good. I mean, but something a little bit more expressive might have been fun. The guitar is fun. It is pretty rigid. It's more rigid than I thought it would be. So that means that heating this up and straightening it out is probably going to work really, really well. But I do think that it's going to take some work to get it to sort of sit properly, with the strap not falling off, because this thing is wanting to fall off really, really badly. But yeah, there's Zartan and Buzzer. I'm gonna try to quickly get the other ones open as well. But I kind of want to get this drum kit set up too. I think I'm just gonna have Buzzer stand up behind the drum set, but because otherwise I think he's gonna take up too much space. Now, I'm not a drummer, so forgive me if you are a drummer if I set this drum set up incorrectly. I'm just doing it as quickly as I can. I will take a look at I'm basically setting up the way that it was in the insert. So if it's wrong, as I said, forgive me. But it is what it is. It's my toy. I can do what I want with it. Let's see. Jeffrey says, I got the CD. I've listened to it several times. I think it kind of grows on you. I will say this. Like I said, I'm kind of a passing metal fan. I do enjoy I do enjoy sort of the hair metal era. But like Motley Crue, Guns N' Roses, like my interest in it doesn't go super, super deep. I do enjoy, the songs. I can't remember most of the lyrics on and on and on, right? And when I first listened to the first few tracks that they released, which were Cold Slither, Thunder Machine, and Knock 'em Dread, sorry, they sounded a little bit too produced. They sounded a little bit too clean to me. But after the concert, after listening to the whole album, more or less non-stop since I got home, yeah, it's growing on me. I'm enjoying it more. I can kind of get into the songs a little bit more. Now that's that's often the case, right? You go and see a band live, and then you kind of appreciate. You can kind of hear. I can hear them as though they're sort of in concert more than just listening to the album. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. Scott says, I keep forgetting to listen. Maybe tomorrow during work. I've always enjoyed metal. It's fun. That's the thing, is like, it's a solid, half an hour record, but it's just a lot of fun. Loco Basewalker says, I'm a metal fan, and I think most of the songs on Cold Slither album are good. Okay, so there you go. It's praise from actual metal fans for what they did with Cold Slither. So I'm gonna tighten this up ever so slightly. There we go. Actually, I want a little more snake there. That works. Okay. Who should I open next? I've got Ripper and Torch. I think I'm gonna open Ripper first, and then Torch, because Torch has a keytar, and I think the keytar is pretty ridiculous and awesome. Let's see. Is that it? Just one thing I gotta snip there? I'm actually gonna snip the. Another question for you guys, actually. If you, or maybe you did go to San Diego Comic-Con, so whether you did, whether you did or didn't go to San Diego Comic-Con, what was your number one exclusive, con exclusive? And as I said, it could be, or what would you have got if you went, and what did you get if you did go? I'm always curious, because there's stuff that, you know, people were like super excited about that I didn't care about, and then I'm sure there's people that kind of thought this was a dumb set. So. The Flying V looks phenomenal. This black and red striped kind of pirate pants that lace up in the front. The open leather vest, which he did in fact wear at the concert. He wore this like exact outfit. The tattoos, the glasses, which are removable. Oh man, I thought those were like molded on, but they are in fact removable. He's got eyes underneath there. Yeah, this guy looks ridiculous and ridiculously awesome. So very, very cool stuff. I'm not gonna bother posing them. I'm just gonna sort of get them in frame. All right, let's get Torch out. 78 points at Sub Nerds. It's a great set. It really is a great set. And I will, you know, as I said before, I think this is like a cool set. If you're a classified fan, I think this is a cool set. If you are just like a G.I. Joe cartoon fan, I also think this is kind of just a cool set if you just like kind of like fun, cool exclusives, because this is like it's just so. I mean, 78 points at Sup Nerds. This is like the nerdiest thing, right? This is a fake heavy metal band from an episode of a cartoon about military characters, and it comes with a flaming keytar. So I don't know what does he have lace up pants? No, not lace up pants, but he does have a keytar with flames on it. And again, you know, a little bit skinnier than the other guys. The bass player, so you know, he's got a keytar here, but the bass player at the show was the thinnest of the bunch, and had the exact shirt. I mean, this is, like I said, this is also like a souvenir if you went to the Cold Slither concert. This could just be like what you got as your souvenir, except they didn't sell them at the concert. But Arlen, the sculptor of many amazing toys, probably lots of which you have on your own shelves at home, it doesn't buy a ton of toys. He kind of typically gets what he sculpts, and then a few others that he really loves. He actually got one of these sets, and he kind of got it as it was kind of a souvenir of the concert. So we had a blast. As I said, more on that on Sunday. I'll talk more about, like, you know, the concert and the show and all that kind of stuff. How crazy the amount of people were in the panels and stuff like that. I'll talk about that all on Sunday. But Yeah, this set is amazing. You know, the four figures, the backdrop, like the insert, I think is like an amazing insert. I keep a lot of inserts and then I never ever do anything with them. This one definitely is gonna be, you know, the stage for these guys. And I think it's gonna live on my shelf like this for quite a while. I'll pose them up and kind of do a little bit more with these. I already have ideas about how I want to pose some of them. But yeah, I'll get them all posed and get them on my shelf and probably take a couple pictures and stuff like that. So you know, check out the Instagram as well if you aren't already, you know, following on Instagram. Let's see. Figure Fight Club, what's going on, buddy? How are you? Collecting Brothers John says, "Hi, this set looks like so much fun. It really is. I think it's you know, it kind of surpasses or it what's the word that I'm looking for? It sort of transcends, you know, just an action figure set. It transcends kind of GI Joe. So I love it for those reasons." Scott said, "Other than a couple of exclusive comics, thanks again for grabbing Spider-Man. I really wanted the Tron Ares 9 Inch Nails vinyl record. Found out about it way too late. I found out about it when I was sitting at the airport on Saturday or on Sunday afternoon. You're talking about the Tron vinyl that was like a triangle, and it looked amazing. I don't even know where I would have gotten it though. There was so much stuff that I didn't get. San Diego Comic-Con, Scott, as you know, it's like overwhelming. It's huge. There's so much going on. There's so much to see. Every time you walk down the same aisle, you know, time after time after time, there's still stuff that you see that you're like, oh, I don't think I saw that before. You know, I think I went to the Bandai booth, and by Bandai I mean the Tamashii Nations booth, because there was a Bandai Gunpla booth, there was a Gundam card game booth, there was a Tamashii Nations booth. There was probably more Bandai booths. I can't even keep track. It was crazy. It's crazy. The whole thing is crazy. What was I talking about? I don't know. Anyways, yeah, I missed that Tron Ares 9 Inch Nails vinyl, and I definitely would have picked that up. They had a light cycle that you could get your picture taken on. You had to wait all day, every day. There was a lineup to get your picture taken on the Tron light cycle. Maybe that's where you got it. I don't even know. Like I said, I didn't wait. John said, asks, how was the concert? It was fantastic. For more details, tune in Sunday or the replay or whatever. I'll talk about it a lot more on Sunday because I'm very likely, I believe, going to be joined by somebody who was at the concert with me. Spinal Tap vibes. Dude, totally. Yeah, and I actually found out a lot more about Cold Slither, about the guy that wrote it and how he wrote it, why he wrote it, and so there's definitely Spinal Tap vibes in Cold Slither, big time. Arlen sculpted that Sugar Man. He did. He absolutely did. Okay, that's 40 minutes. There's the four figures. You know what, I think that's a wrap. I think I'm good. Unless you guys have more questions about the set, you want to see anything more detail wise, or anything like that. But otherwise, I think I'm gonna wrap it up. As I said, I'm re-energized after San Diego Comic-Con. I'm sort of switched on and excited about toys again. Not that I wasn't excited about toys, but I'm excited to talk about toys again more often and sort of get back into the swing of things. So for more about my experience at San Diego Comic-Con, we'll probably talk about some of the other stuff that I picked up and so on and so forth. Tune in on Sunday, 2 p.m. Pacific time, which I guess is 5 p.m. Eastern. Yeah, and then next week, as I said, the 10th, August 10th, we're going to do Monkey Business again. So Jason and I were at San Diego Comic-Con. Brick was actually in Japan. So we've been away for a while. We haven't done Monkey Business in a while, but we'll be back and better than ever. Sunday, August the 10th. So tune into that. As always, if you have any questions or if you want to talk toys, feel free to reach out, either, comment or Instagram or whatever. I'm accessible. I'm here. I'm happy to chat, talk about toys. Till next time, everybody. Bye-bye.